Davante, you've obviously have a lot of people told you you're good in your life. When Aaron comes up to you and says you're the best player he's ever played with, does that mean a little extra?
For sure, man. I mean, it caught me off guard when he texted me that the other day. He texted me before he said it. I don't know if he said it. I think after the game was first, but yeah, I mean, it catches me off guard a little bit just because I feel like what we don't do enough as men in general is kind of express the way we feel about one another or about the way you feel, whether it's good or bad. So to hear something like that, out of the blue, there was no conversation that led up to it or anything like that. It was just strictly just from his heart, something that he was thinking about in the moment. So it means a lot to me as a player, especially the type of guy that I am, because obviously I'm always trying to continue to improve and make his job as easy as possible. So to see that he acknowledges it, at that level, it's really not any words that I can put together to say how much it means to me. But it continues to push me. I think with certain people, hearing stuff like that, being the best, whether it's in general or the best that a certain player of a certain magnitude has played with, there's two responses typically. Is you either fall back and get comfortable because you feel like you've reached a certain point, or it drives you. And I feel like it continues to push me. I don't need necessarily any type of positive reinforcement, but to somebody better mute up. Who's not muted? Just see, now I forgot where I was. I was trying to give a great answer, and now we got people, kids running around. I don't know what's going on, but next question. We good.
You were saying it either motivates you more.
Yeah, I'm motivated. I'm gonna keep pushing off of that to keep growing.
Ryan Wood.
Next.
So, no, sorry about that. That got muted somehow. You always play well, but through like the middle of November, you had like 3 touchdowns, and you got 7 of your last 5 games, which is pretty ridiculous. What maybe not clicked, but what's been the difference for you to go on this kind of tear that you've been on these last 5 games?
Just ops. I think the way that I've been played in the red zone this year has been a lot tighter than what it's been in previous years when I've been able to kind of run it up early. Obviously, last year getting out of the blocks pretty good after I came back from Miami. So just the opportunities, getting more, seeing a few better looks. That mixed with 12, just sticking with a few things when we don't necessarily like the pre-snap look, but just trusting me to go win on my route. And that's why I was never really too worried about it. At the beginning of the year, it was obviously we didn't get off to the start we wanted to as far as our connection. We had the yards and the production, but putting points on the board is the most important part. Scoring touchdowns, it just makes things easier for the whole team. So it was never something that I was worried about, but just getting a few more opportunities down there and capitalizing on them.
Jason Wilde.
Hey, Davante, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Since we're all talking about our feelings, thanks for being so good to us this year. It means a lot to all of us.
No problem.
And no pressure then on this question. I asked Aaron before about his future. He had talked about it a little bit with McAfee yesterday. So I wanted to ask you as well. He said he's taken a savor this season approach to this year with the uncertainty. I'm wondering, have you done the same on purpose or more so than you have in past seasons? And in any way, does your future dovetail or connect with whatever is going to happen with his future?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, naturally, why wouldn't it? It's not. I'm playing with the best quarterback to play the game. It's not like, there's nothing other than, me just having a connection I've built up with my guy and playing a certain way. So there's that expectation, there's that friendship built up in it. There's a lot that goes into it. So, obviously to a certain extent, it won't be the end all be all, but it'll definitely be something that I'm monitoring and paying attention to see where his head is at, after all of this. But one thing to answer the first part of it, one thing that we both do a great job with, I think we talked about a lot this year, is just kind of making the main thing, and just really enjoying the time that we do have with our teammates. And it's something that we've started to talk about more because we're all getting older, man. It's, it's a business on top of that. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into whether or not I'm back here, whether or not he's back here. If it was just as simple as, do you like being here? Do you want to be back? And, we'll pay you how you should be paid, and, doing all those type of things, then it would be easy. Everybody will be exactly where they want to be and, having the time of their life. But, there's certain parts of this game that I don't control. So I can't make a prediction as to what exactly will happen. So, yeah, I am enjoying it, paying a little bit more attention and, just kind of locking in, enjoying my time with my teammates now, because you never know. And I've been in 4 NFC Championship games, and it's a new team every year. So at this point, I'm just trying to enjoy it and just go play football, and kind of like what Aaron said, just savor these moments, just because you never know what will happen. But obviously I love being a Packer and love being here. So we'll see how everything plays out. But to a certain extent, I will be connected to 12, but. It's not like if he goes, I'm not going to be here, or if he stays, I will, but it's something that we'll have to pay attention to for sure.
Wes from Packers.com.
Hey, Davante. Over the years, you guys have had a number of players who have come in during the season and contributed. I mean, whether it was JJ in 15 or, Rasul, what he's doing this year, Valdir, a couple years back. What kind of boost does that give a team? And just how important are those kind of contributions when you're in, in the middle of a championship type run?
I mean, they're crazy. I mean, it's super important because I kind of made mention to it before. I feel like we were maybe a Rasul away or Devondre away from winning the Super Bowl. And I think for us, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but I think the hard part is just getting there. We got a motivated team that's won so many important games, so many crucial games postseason. We've had run-the-table moments where we kind of had playoff weeks for the last 5 weeks of the season. We've done it in so many different ways to where we're kind of battle-tested at this point. I just think we just got to get there. And having guys like that, those additions, mid-season or beginning of season in camp, or even just, bringing Dre in, he's been here the entire time, but it's a whole new experience, and a guy that, wasn't looked at as like a crucial piece of his team prior to coming here, but then he comes and now he's basically holding the thing together. So, it's amazing to have that because, we obviously love the team we had before that. So anytime you can add pieces as you go on the fly and they can come in and contribute and be solid players for you, it's, it helps you trend in the right direction.
Mark Daniels.
Hey, Davante. Thanks for the time again today. You haven't played in many bitter games, but we're talking single digits, wind chill, sub-zero. What's the secret to catching a rock? Warm hands, more focus?
I mean, you just got to block out more so the pain, deal with the dexterity. It's a few things that kind of creep in that physically change for you. It's not just about the mental. It's tougher to adjust to a ball when it's that cold. It's just like talking when it's cold outside. You have trouble getting some certain words out. So imagine catching a ball that's 60 yards in the air. I think the last cold one that we had was the Bears here in 18 or 19, one of those years. I can't even remember it now. But we had a really cold one that time, and I think that was the last one other than the Bears in like 16 in Chicago. That was probably the worst one I've been a part of. But just lock in, make the grab, deal with the pain.
Steve McGargy.
Thank you. I'm just wondering, Matt LaFleur tied the record Saturday for most head coaching victories by a guy in his first 3 seasons. From your perspective, what is it that makes him such a good coach to play for? And have you noticed any way in which he's kind of changed or evolved as a head coach since he first got there?
I've kind of answered this question a few times this year, but I mean, he's changed and evolved just in ways. He's a really, he's open to hearing, how the players feel, specifically the leaders feel about, the plays they want run. The just small stuff, the schedule, different things like that can, small things that lead to, us having a better chance on Sunday, whether it's getting a little bit more rest and things like that. So, it says a lot about him just because as a head coach, especially of a story franchise like this, it's like, you can do whatever you want, and the players are kind of forced to respect you and just do whatever. And we will respect if he wasn't like that. You kind of have to. So for him to be open like that and kind of be receptive to what the guys, especially the guys that have been around for a long time and have legit ideas or whatever it may be, it's just awesome to know that I can come in and talk to him, and if he'll give me a conversation regardless whether or not he agrees with what I'm saying or not. We can have an adult conversation, and I appreciate him for that. And I think having that type of mentality as a coach is important, and it obviously has paid off with him being so successful over his first 3. So looking forward to him breaking that record this week, and keep pushing.
Matt Schneidman.
Davante, if you had to choose an animal to describe how Mercedes Lewis runs after the catch, what would you say?
Gorilla. I'd probably say a gorilla because it's just powerful, it's fast, it's a little unpredictable, pretty athletic. I like to say a gorilla is athletic and just big, man. I mean, you see a gorilla running at you. I have not been chased by one yet, but if I do, I'll get out the way. He'll be able to sidestep me, run me over, hurdle me, do whatever he need to do because, I don't want no parts of that, and I kind of feel like that's how the defenses feel with him out there.
We're going to do 2 more. Aaron Nagler.
Davante, do you have cold weather routes? I mean, we hear a lot about the passing game and how it might be affected and how possibly you guys might have an advantage on a slicker field where where you're going, the defensive back doesn't. Are there things you go to Matt or the offensive kind of gurus and say, hey, give me a bunch of these because I know I'm going to be able to take advantage?
It's a great question. Not really, but we do have different, times where we know to kind of be on top of our footwork because what it can do potentially to the DB. But I don't typically go into a game, or coaches don't really go into a game, saying we want to run this because he'll have trouble getting out of it because it just happens. It can happen literally on any given play. It can be on a play where they're not even trying to, like we watching film now, and guys are slipping all over the place, just reacting, backpedaling, and then triggering because it's a run play. You'll see a dude slip. So it's pretty easy to slip if you don't have your feet underneath you. You're not wearing the right cleats. If you're not on your insteps and you just don't have the proper footwork, you can fall really just on a simple stop route. So we definitely use that to our advantage with just being more precise and practicing our footwork for different times like that. But any specific routes, not really.
Last one, Jason Wilde.
Hey, Davante, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if I was unmuted there.
You were trying to get your two-parter together. That's what you were doing.
I managed to do it, and you remembered both parts, so
yeah.
We're good. When you look at where this offense is as a whole, what do you feel really good about, and what do you feel like you guys really need to get tuned up in the last 2 games before the playoffs start?
Well, I feel good about the fact that I feel like we can win a game in any type of way, whether it's 12 going crazy and getting the ball to the guys outside and we go out and eat, or put it in 33 and 28's hands and let them go tote it because we got a pretty battered old line, but my hat is off to them for the work that they've been able to do just with the little experience they've had. Guys are getting moved into positions that they've never played or don't rep. Just stuff like that. So our ability to adjust on the fly is pretty special this year. Just from, like I said, with the injuries and different things we've had to adjust in mid-game even. So big credit to some of the guys for that. But we definitely got to keep our foot on the gas a little bit better as a team, coaching staff, everybody just together to make sure we can bury some of these guys because I remember coming in the league and just expecting to, put up 40, 50 points on the Bears or Vikings, early on. And, we would just keep going. And we've even done that. We've had times where we've done that as a team. Not so much this year. We've obviously got our wins, but we haven't really buried anybody the way we want. But we've done it as, under Matt LaFleur for sure. So just staying hungry and just looking at a game like the Vikings versus Steelers where, they're up 29 points to 0, which is different than even, having 3 points because at least you scored and it helps you a little bit. Just putting points on the board helps. And those guys came back and almost won that game. So, we want to put ourselves in a position where we don't have to worry about it late game like that. We can just go play and just keep putting our foot on their neck. And, there's going to be times these guys get paid too. There's going to be times where it's not a blowout, and I don't expect one every game. But in a situation where it should be, we got to put teams away. So that's probably the biggest improvement we got to make.